Hey everyone, I'm Stefan. This is Graham.
Hey.
This is Travis.
Oh.
And we're, we're three different ones. Last year we compiled a big old list of albums we think are interesting, and now we talk about them. Today we are talking about Octopus, which is Gentle Giant's fourth album. We're going to go through all the songs on the listing, and then we're going to give our final scores for it at the end. This is this is Gentle Giant is are they kind of a prolific for being an early prog rock band, or where was this is a pretty old album. This is 72, I believe. Was this were there a lot of prog rock acts going at this time period? Do either of y'all know?
This was like kind of like the peak of well,
the beginning of the peak.
Yeah, I mean this is Prague was definitely in full stride by now. Like you had Yes, King Crimson, Genesis.
Genesis was this early?
Yeah. So Genesis had kind of like two, I don't know, it almost sounds like two bands, but it's like early Genesis is like kind of straight up prog, and then they would become pop, in the
That's
80s
just crazy.
or whenever. Yeah, I know.
This album?
No, the fact that Genesis had two totally different sounds, like the same band.
It was all the same people, though. It was Collins and Gabriel and whoever the third guy was.
Peter Gabriel sang for them during their more prog era, and then he left, like I think in the mid 70s or something, and Phil took over vocals.
Okay,
because Phil was just the drummer until I guess he did both.
What would you say was the first Genesis like pop album?
Duke
80
came out in 80.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's it.
What would you say is the peak prog
of Genesis?
The two.
Oh, I mean, a lot of people say
even earlier.
A lot of people say "Selling England by the Pound."
Yeah.
Or Foxtrot. I've never gotten that into Genesis. Like I'm big into Yes, and I've been getting more into King Crimson lately. And Gentle Giant, I've been a fan of for a while. They didn't have quite the commercial success as those other bands, and you can probably understand why.
Yes.
Not very radio friendly, maybe.
No. It's a very, very kind of a challenging, very diverse style.
Yeah, but
there's
they were
not a whole lot of pleasantness necessarily.
Well, I mean, depending on what that means for you.
Right.
Sure.
Conventional music taste, though, yeah, I could see this. I could see this being a little
extremely
difficult.
abrasive.
Yeah, like I was thinking about how we usually say, would we recommend this album to someone? And it really depends on a lot of things. Like
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Like who on earth would I recommend this to? Definitely a musician.
I could see it driving a lot of people crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. But yeah, these guys were like right there at the beginning of prog rock. Like, I'm not even sure if they have a lot of, like prog influences. Like I feel like it's mostly like classical and, who knows? Like their guitar player definitely brings some of the more kind of bluesy elements. Like, who knows? I mean, I'm sure they all, heard, Hendrix and Cream and all that stuff, but their influences were pretty diverse. It sounds like.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I can't wait to hear what Stefan thought about this album.
Yeah, because this is your initiation.
It was. Did not know what to expect, and was very, very surprised by the start of the album with Advent of Panur. I can't say it without laughing. I'm sorry. The Advent of Panur.
Yeah, it's a kind of, what is Panurge?
I have no idea, and I avoided looking up too much of it because from the start I could tell this thing is completely bizarre, and I wanted to be as weirded out as possible. I didn't want to know anything about them. I'd actually heard of the is it the Shulman brothers? Are they brothers?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'd heard of them, but I didn't really know anything about this band or this album or anything like that. So, imagine my surprise where at the start. I mean, the singing reminded me a little of like McCartney in his Wings days.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I thought of.
Wow.
At the very, very start. It goes away pretty quickly, but at the start with that light guitar.
You talking about like the first millisecond?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those opening few seconds. That voice.
Interesting.
To your point about where on earth did the advent of Panurge come from, I think I read something about some series of books of like Gargantua and Pantagruel or something like that. Yeah.
There's a lot of literary,
dude.
Yeah. There's like Albert Camus references. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, Graham is familiar. There's a subgenre of prog like Canterbury, and I don't know why, but just like that like madrigal style vocal stuff that they do reminds me of like Canterbury Tales.
Oh yeah.
There's very medieval,
like knots, especially. We'll get to it, but just kind of chanty and like I don't know, like I feel like I'm a few 100 years past when this should have dropped.
Yeah, and the guy that composed a lot of their music, Kerry Manier, he like studied, classical music in school and played a zillion instruments, as most of these guys did.
Yeah.
Most of these guys play like, tons of instruments.
Kerry Manier is credited with like 9 different instruments on this album. Like it's out of control.
Dude, the musical prowess of these guys is just
incredible.
It's on another level.
It's nuts.
It's like a whole band of John Paul Joneses.
Times 100.
Yeah.
Dude.
So let's get into it with the advent of Panurge.
Where do you even start?
So, what did y'all think of this?
I love this song personally.
Me too.
I think because Graham showed me Gentle Giant a couple years ago, and I want to say this is the first song that you ever showed me of theirs, so it's kind of got a special place for me.
Yeah.
But I love it. I mean, it's so weird. There are so many different pieces and components of this song, but like it's weirdly heavy.
Yeah.
They've got this masterful way of making something so complex and not necessarily easy to listen to, rhythmic, which I don't know. Maybe the guitar player's got something to do with that, But I don't know. It's masterful in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way it starts, like I feel like if you're first listening,
you're instantly turning it off.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think it kind of eased me into it.
It could turn some people off, but it does make you think like, where is this going? Because I don't know, it's like very like I don't know, it's very like God, what's the word for it? Like it takes a while to like really
slow burn,
get into the meat of the song,
right?
And like when the drums kick in,
oh yeah,
that's when you realize like, oh man, this is
dude, and the bass. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
This bass player is on another level. The rhythm section of this band is just stupid good.
Yeah,
and oddly heavy. Like
yes, I kind of love the contrast between like
yeah,
the kind of whimsical medieval stuff, but then it's like they'll just have a section where they just like really like groove,
freaking jam.
Like there's some funk to it.
Yeah, it's blending so many different sounds.
Yeah,
and they somehow make it work.
I absolutely love their drummer.
So this was the first album for this guy, right?
Yeah, they had like 2 drummers before this guy. And yeah, I think this was this guy's debut. His name was
Weathers.
Yeah, John Weathers.
Okay,
John Paul Weathers.
John Weathers, man. So, yeah, this is definitely a top track of theirs and of this album for me. Very, very strong start.
Perfect intro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It kind of gives you a good taste of what this band's about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yep.
And oddly enough, I think the Octopus cover, like I think the graphic really fits with this song.
Yeah.
They complement each other quite well.
Yeah, that cover is so cool.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Like
creepy.
And there are a couple covers out there because one has the octopus in the jar.
Right.
I'm not sure if that was like the original cover or if that was like a new alternate thing, but
I'm glad they picked this one. I'm glad the one with the red octopus.
Yeah.
The one where it's more just the red octopus. Yep.
This is for the UK release? I think the jar one is in the US and over here in Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, that's a badass painting, man.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, kind of perfect for I don't know. There are several songs where it's like you can almost like see that cover.
Yeah, like the music.
Yeah,
portrays that cover.
It complements it, and that was done by the Roger Dean, who did like a lot of covers for Yes albums.
Nice.
Which had a lot of like crazy art.
Oh yeah.
He was just a big prog rock album art guy. The next song I'm not as big of a fan of.
Strong medieval vibes.
Yeah.
Raycon Tour Troubadour.
I mean I think what turns me off about it is the vocals, which that's the case with some of their songs. Like, he's not a great singer, in my opinion. I mean, but
that's fair.
Vocal parts are also really strange.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm gonna kind of, I don't know. I don't I don't dislike this song. The more I think about it, like it's got some. It really showcases a lot of their playing. Like there's violin, um, God knows what else towards the end.
Yeah, some
now
cello, I think, some viola.
I still dig this one. It doesn't have quite the impact that track 1 does, but this one's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a lower point in the album for me, personally.
Yeah.
That's
and
fair.
I don't want to give too much away, but there are many different sounds and themes on this album, I thought.
Yes.
Not a consistent sound, really.
No, not at all.
Like just totally different
Yep.
stories to tell from song to song.
Yeah, and it still feels like them, like.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean,
I might give the next track an exception to that, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. The next one does just kind of sound like a hard rock song,
dude. Just so straightforward for them. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yep.
But I mean, there are parts in it where I'm like, okay, that's very Gentle Giant,
Right.
They're the bongos.
They're like, we've got to unleash some signature sounds.
Yeah, let's throw in.
Just really strange that just the main riff is like so on the nose.
Well, Stefan, what did you think of Raconteur Troubadour?
That was one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a freaking Renaissance fair, and it's weird. I love the way that piano sounds. I loved the strings. That fucking song's out of its mind.
Yeah,
I mean, the freaking vibraphone coming in out of nowhere. I mean, it sounded like the score of like a docuseries on Victorian era England. I mean, just came out of nowhere. I mean, so bizarre, but I mean, I was so caught off guard by it. I mean, I was was just totally hooked into it for the whole thing.
Yeah,
and I don't know. It's super off-putting and it's weird, but I enjoyed that about it. And I liked Cry for Everyone, by the way. It goes in a totally different direction. Like oh man, I'm giving too much away, but this was a very enjoyable listening experience for me.
Well, and what's interesting about, I think, Raconteur and Cry for Everyone is like they start with these they start with verses and whatever choruses, but then it just drops out, and I feel like it's finished by the band just going off.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like after like 30 seconds or something, they're like, okay, we're done singing.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned how like the guy's voice is not like, doesn't have the greatest sound to it. I mean, it's possible they were aware of that. And it's like the vocals, like, we're not Queen. Like, the singer's not the strong point. Like, we
need somebody to sing.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we're ridiculous musicians.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And like the singer, could play instruments. He played some sax, and I'm pretty sure live he would play some guitar.
Yeah.
Let me see what the singer played. He played sax, recorder, bass, percussion, keyboards.
Jeez.
The multi-talented group of people.
This family was Yeah,
the music gene was strong with the Shulmans.
Yeah, and I think the third brother, Ray, I think he would leave after this album. But then Phil and Derek would continue. I think that's correct. It gets confusing. And of course, Derek Shulman came up during the Pantera episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just he's in the music biz and he signed Pantera.
Nice.
It's crazy to me, like in A Cry for Everyone, how many different synth sounds there were. Like,
yeah,
oh my god, it's like every time they'd come back to something, it was like a different keys tone.
Yeah.
So many different sounds, basses, out of control good.
Yeah, this is,
Just
I mean,
phenomenal.
good. I mean, it was hard to tell if it was always a synth because they've got the freaking mini Moog along with a Hammond. They've got the traditional piano. They've got the Mellotron. I think they actually have a legit harpsichord on at least one of these songs.
I would not be surprised.
I mean, I really had the the listing of all the instruments used, and I just gave up, honestly, at some point. Like, I think around knots, I was just like, I can't keep track of this anymore. Like, I just couldn't do it. So I just went back to listening.
Yeah, man. That might be the way to approach it.
Yeah.
Just take it for what it is.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And Renaissance Fair is the perfect descriptor for some of this stuff. It's like so medieval. And,
that Baroque kind of sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of bands like attempted to copy that.
Yeah,
but it didn't sound quite as good because
this is just so authentic.
Yes.
They do it so well.
These guys had the actual
real deal,
the knowledge and the skill to like pull that off in a non cheesy way. Like it's pretty like, you know, goofy and ridiculous, but like it's also badass.
Yes. Oh yes.
And track 4, I'd say, is probably one of their most known tracks. What did y'all think about Knots?
I love Knots.
Never thought I'd be excited to hear a cappella, and they did this one. It changed my attitude on that. They,
yeah,
I love Knots.
Yep,
it's nuts, man.
It is just everything going on with the vocals, and then it's such a smooth instrumental melody.
Mm-hmm.
Love the bass, the drums, piano. I mean, it's so good.
And those little breaks between the acapella parts where it's like a violin and like a vibraphone that kind of like it dances across the I don't know, it's like panning across your ears, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good way to describe it.
But then finally, you get to that riff about halfway through the song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That's like the ultimate Gentle Giant moment for me, man.
Yep. Definitive.
And that's when I think I'm like thinking about that octopus on the cover, you know, with that giant fat riff.
Mm-hmm.
It has a very like, I don't know, I almost see like an octopus in like a ship or something. Like it.
Yeah.
Like a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea kind of deal.
Yeah, like a Lovecraftian kind of thing.
Yeah, and I don't know how they achieved that like sound, but it just sounds very like nautical.
Yeah,
it does. It really does.
Dramatic too.
Yes, very dramatic. But yeah, after all that buildup of just insanity and chanting and whatever, they just go into a pretty accessible, I guess, heavy riff.
Yeah. Pretty great, man.
Yeah.
So crazy.
I love it. It is nuts. I was again, I was excited for you to hear this for the first time.
Oh my gosh, I wish I'd filmed my face as I was listening to this. Oh my gosh.
It's so unique.
It is
so unique.
Oh my god, it's just nothing like it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What'd y'all think of the start of side 2?
Oh man,
Fast.
I honestly, Boys in the Band might be my favorite from this.
Yeah.
Which is funny because there are no vocals, but
I was fine with it.
yeah,
It didn't matter to me at all.
This one's nuts.
Yep.
Just, I mean, even starting with the spinning coin.
Yes.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
just
cool.
around it sounds like it's just spinning around a wood table.
Yeah.
Badass.
And then it just balls out drops.
Yep. Yep.
Dude, it's just so good. Like this song it's 11 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
It's just so perfect.
It might be the most complicated one on the album.
It's so perfect. Which I like that, you know, there's no vocal part since it is so complicated.
Yeah.
It draws more focus forces you to focus on what's going on.
Yeah, like I would still listen to this album if there were no vocals.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
This too, I mean, the weird little keys bass part coming off of the intro, I love that. Then you got that super smooth guitar part, just absolute jam. I feel like the bass is just really, really driving it here too. I don't know, man. I feel like this is the first song where the guitar like really comes to life on this album.
Yeah, there's not like a ton of focus on guitar on this album, but this one you get some. And I feel like a couple albums, like their albums leading up to this one, I feel like have more like guitar solos and riffs, which I love. Like I think he's a great guitar player, and I love those albums. It would actually be tough for me to say, you know, which of their first 4 albums is my favorite.
Right.
But yeah, agreed. This song is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
It's hectic as hell when it starts.
It is. Yeah. It is.
It's a slap in the face. I mean,
do y'all kind of get like some Jetsons vibes from this song?
Maybe at the beginning.
Yeah.
Just real like futuristic 50s, 60s to me, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The 50s version of what the future would look like. Yeah.
Exactly.
I get that.
Yes.
Yeah. I get that for sure.
Yeah, at the beginning I could see like some little Jetsons flying around.
Yeah.
Just the hecticness, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like a cartoon for sure.
Yeah.
What'd y'all think of Dog's Life? I instantly laughed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
this is the first song where I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I know. I was like,
I mean,
the lyrics were killing me. Like I was just trying not to laugh.
Yeah, I had given up by that point. I was howling at this song.
No pun intended.
Yes. I still think though that musically, it's really impressive. I think that that sweet plucky guitar transitions into the string sections. I mean, it's just I think it's just a beautifully sounding piece.
I'd agree.
So I still really enjoyed it. It's I think it is the shortest song on the album.
Yeah,
there's probably a good reason for that, but I still had a blast with it. So I totally would get this. I mean, I think if you made it this far in the album, you can probably get through it. But I'm sure this is not it's not a big, not as popular as some of the other songs off of Octopus.
Dude, I could not quit cracking up listening to this song.
I
was like, seriously? I mean, I can't say I'm surprised, but
yeah, man, nothing.
That's
nothing
what's awesome with
surprising.
these guys is it's like,
Yeah,
you know, as weird as this. I mean, really, to write a song like this, but hey,
but
no
like
surprise.
you were saying, Stefan, like don't skip this one, even if
No.
you're kind of initially like, oh, what the hell is this?
Pat him
Yeah.
on the head, give the dog a bone.
Yeah, yeah. But there
Use
is
a
this
friendly tone; he won't leave you
whole like
alone.
middle like kind of orchestral part that's just it's really nice.
Yeah.
Weird as hell, but
Yes.
if you can dig it, you're gonna like it.
Agreed. It is not a give up track by any means.
No.
So I'd say definitely sit through it. Give it a chance.
Yeah. And I think that was sung by the Carrie Manier, not Derek Schulman. He kind of has a more gentle voice, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think he sings the next one too. Think of Me with Kindness.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a huge fan of. Like this,
Same.
Dog's Life and this one kind of have a different feel than the rest. Like they're not heavy.
No.
They're my two least favorite.
No.
Yeah. This one's a ballad if they have ballads, you know.
Yeah, what counts for a ballad with Gentle Giant?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I was saying, there's just so many different sounds and themes on this album. Like these two and Raconteur Troubadour.
Yeah.
A Cry for Everyone. Like they're such different songs.
Yeah. Yeah. But I would agree with Dog's Life and Think of Me with Kindness are probably the weaker songs. But I wouldn't skip them. The ending of Think of Me with Kindness, I got some like very like Sergeant Pepper era Beatle vibes with that horn. I forget what that is. Like a
it's
French horn or something.
Is it a mellophone?
Man, I don't know.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a weird. The mellophone. It's a brass instrument. It's kind of got like this sort of conical bore, which alters the sound a little bit. It's a similar sound to the French horn, but its body makes it look kind of like a trumpet. It's a weirder instrument, a little more obscure than what you see in a traditional brass section.
Of course, they'd have that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think you're right because I just lost it, but I saw Mellophone on track 7.
Yeah.
But of course their Wikipedia page is like a freaking novel.
Yes. Yes.
Under personnel. That was Phil Schulman playing the mellophone. I just found it.
There you go.
All right.
The Schulman strike again.
Yeah. Any more to say about Think of Me with Kindness?
I'd rather talk about River, honestly.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think we all would.
Is that a little wah on there?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some wah pedal. You mean in the beginning riff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to kind of pick out what's what, but yeah, I hear some like wah, but
have that
layered
like
on top.
Slippery guitar sound.
Yeah, yeah. The guitar kind of plays in unison with that violin. Or I always get my bowed instruments mixed up because there's like a violin, a viola. Looks like violin is probably what was played on this.
There was like a nice dreaminess to this song.
Yeah, especially at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got a little solo worked in towards the end there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that guitar solo is very like.
Mm-hmm.
At some points, I was like, man, this could be like early, like ZZ Top or something.
Yeah,
It's so
dude,
bluesy.
it's so strange.
So
Like,
bluesy.
right. Strange in contrast with what else is going on.
Right, right. And I'm sure, as all, you know, guys who were in rock bands back in the 60s and 70s, I'm sure these guys grew up, being into the blues.
Right.
I would think.
The Shulman brothers were actually in a blue-eyed soul band or something that actually got a little bit of success. It was called oh God, what was it? But they had like a minor hit or something, and then there was some quote that was funny. It was like, basically we didn't see any point of like being with inferior musicians.
Oh my God.
I was like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Simon Dupree and the Big Sound.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the Big Sound.
Yeah, man. I know.
That is pretty freaking British, man.
Wish I could find that.
Dude, I'm looking at the album
quote.
cover. That's amazing. Or like the band photos.
They had a top hit called "Kites" in 1967.
Jesus.
Which Derek Shulman later described "Kites" as utter shit.
That's amazing.
That is.
I love it. And it's like, how can you even? What's someone from that band going to say after him going to Gentle Giant? Like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It's yeah. In '69, the brothers finally dissolved the group in order to escape the pop music environment that had frustrated them. And then Ray Shulman stated, "We knew we couldn't continue with the musicians we'd had before. We weren't interested in the other musicians in the band. They couldn't contribute anything."
Oh my God.
We had to teach them what to do. It got rather heavy when we could play drums better than the drummer. And even on record, we were doing more and more of it with overdubs. It got stupid having a band like that. The first thing was to get some musicians of a higher standard.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess you would expect a little bit of, I don't know, pretentiousness for a band that's this ambitious. So maybe that's not surprising. But yeah, back to River.
What a hodgepodge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just got everything. I mean, Mellotron, the electric violin. I mean, the yummy bass riffs in this one. I mean, organ, vibraphone, the freaking mini moog. I mean, it's just it's just a big stew of a song, and I think it's a perfect way to end this album.
Yeah,
flawless finish.
One of the strongest closers I can remember reviewing.
Fully agreed
on the show.
Yep.
This one's great. I mean, I might even say this could be somebody's intro to Gentle Giant. Like it's
River.
It's pretty accessible, and it kind of gives you everything that they are about. You got some kind of cool drum work too, a little drum solo.
Mm-hmm.
Not even quite a solo, just a little break.
Yeah. This
love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this has got to be the longest song on the album. So, but it didn't feel long, honestly. Frankly, I was kind of by the end of this one, I was bummed that the album is barely. It's just over 30 minutes.
Yeah,
which kind of blew me away, honestly.
Is it that short?
It's not long.
It's let's see, 34 minutes.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I know. I think most of their albums were about that length, which is kind of cool because, prog bands are a lot of times known to write these like 10, 15-minute songs. And it's weird that these guys were able to keep their songs like so short, but also just like cram so much more than like a lot of other big prog bands. Like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's like the least cliche prog.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't really fit any of the like cookie cutter prog stuff, in my opinion.
It's true.
Absolutely.
They kind of stand on their own.
Which is the most prog thing ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
The Godfathers.
Yeah. Did anybody listen to? I know on Spotify, the versions of this album, they have like a live performance at the end.
Yeah, I didn't. I listened to like a minute of it. It was like almost 16 minutes of live stuff.
Right. It's just called excerpts from Octopus, and that's how they would like perform. I guess they would just kind of do like a medley of these songs when they did it live. Probably because it was like impossible to, incorporate all the different instruments to play like every minute and second of these songs. It's fun to watch these guys if you go on YouTube or something. It's pretty fun to watch them play a show. There's some good clips out there. And it's on like Swedish TV or something. I don't know.
Graham, didn't you say at one point that like Rush cited these guys as a huge influence on them?
I think that's probably how I found out about him. I think I was reading like Rush Wikipedia, or there might have even been back on the iTunes days, where you'd like read their bio. It definitely said they were an influence. I don't know how huge of an influence, but yeah, I would say like Gentle Giant, King Crimson, and Yes. I feel like those are kind of the big ones, and I guess you would throw Genesis in there, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Rush were into these guys. Frank Zappa was a fan. I don't know if he was necessarily influenced, because he was already kind of doing his thing by the time they came around, but it's always good when Frank Zappa gives you props.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, man, short album.
Yes.
I know. I guess we've kind of come to the conclusion here, huh?
10 out of 10.
Same.
No question. Knew it before I even made it to River, and that made it a rubber stamp for it. I was had, really, from Raycon Tour Troubadour on. Did not know what was going to happen, what was coming next, but I was riveted from beginning to end. And I know it's weird, and I really don't know who I'd recommend this to, but I mean, I was just, this was so much fun to listen to, and it was different and strange in the best kind of ways. So I love this album. Love it.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I thought you might. Might.
You were right. You know me.
Yeah, got to be a 10 for me. I mean, even with the weak points,
yeah,
I feel like even in those weaker tracks, there's like stuff worth hearing.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many changes and parts and whatever. Just kind of a masterpiece.
Yeah.
I think I would give it, for me personally, probably an 8.5.
Okay. That's still
I
really
mean,
high.
I really enjoy it. I mean, I think it's fantastic. But
yeah,
I don't know. There are 2 or 3 tracks that I don't think I would ever listen to personally. I would
sure,
never seek them out.
Yeah.
And
sure,
that's 3 out of 8 tracks. It's a
yeah,
pretty big
yeah.
chunk of the album.
Definitely.
But
That's
I mean,
true.
I love Gentle Giant. I think they're amazing. This album in particular, I don't know that it's the 10 out of 10 for me from them, from what I've heard.
Right. It's a hard question. What's your favorite album?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Graham, do you think you would give multiple albums of theirs 10 out of 10?
I think I would. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just so hard. Like when even if there are a couple tracks you don't like, it's like the good tracks. They're almost worth like 3 songs.
Yeah.
So it's just so hard to like hear many of their albums and be like, yeah, this isn't anything but just like brilliant.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
No, that's a fair point.
yeah,
Definitely.
I think definitely later on in their career they made some clunkers.
They can't all be zingers.
Right, right. But yeah, and as far as recommending it to people, like if you are into prog rock, check it out. If you're into, I would say if you're into like fantasy or something like that, like I don't know, books or movies or
Mm-hmm.
Dungeons and Dragons or something like that, like this could appeal to you because it just kind of has that. I don't know. It just sounds like it's from a different time period at some points.
I put on Fellowship of the Ring after listening to this album.
Yeah, yeah,
It just
That's
absolutely put me in the mood for it.
yeah,
And don't regret it at all.
yeah. It sounds like something that hobbits would listen to,
Definitely.
and elves and dwarves.
Yeah. Good album for pipe weed.
For sure, for sure.
That's a tough one.
Who you'd recommend it to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who I would recommend it to. I mean, I agree with all of that.
Like if you're into
Virtuosos, I think you would like this.
yeah.
Very technical music.
And I was going to say, even though like Rush is also prog rock and they maybe took influence from these guys, like this is so different from Rush. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like
you would never hear any of this on the radio.
True. True. Unless you're on like a classical station, maybe you would hear something like it.
Dude, if they played Gentle Giant on 101.1, I would die.
Yeah. It would fit for a while.
Great.
Until the rhythm section kicked in.
So great.
That begs the question, in my opinion. People that listen to classical music, that might be a good recommendation of them to kind of pull in some rock roots too.
I think they could definitely appreciate this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you listen to classical and rock music, this is probably something worth checking out.
For sure.
If you just like weirdness and kind of challenging.
There's some shock value to this album too, I think. Like,
yes.
I think it would be for anybody a great one and done, at least. Like, you got to just hear it once.
I know. I feel like I love doing that and being like, dude, have you ever heard Gentle Giant?
Right. Surprise.
Like, I think that's what I did to you. Like, however long ago that was.
What is this?
Yeah.
I'd never heard anything like it.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
Stefan, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I am too. I'm so glad you put this on the list.
Yeah.
And
I think was this on Travis's list?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Travis. Then.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Definitely the in-house gentle giant expert.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say on Octopus?
That's all I got, man. I could probably ramble on more, but
yeah. All right. Well, if you're still with us, thank you so much. As always, like the episode, subscribe, share it around. If you have an album you'd like us to review, just drop it in the comments section, and we will get to it. And we'll come back at you soon with another episode. So be sure to stay in touch with 3 Different Ones. We'll see you.